In a world filled with questions, where wisdom knows no boundaries, join us on a journey of enlightenment and endless learning. Eternal Teachings. TV. Discover the eternal.
The idea of Brics evolving into a more unified entity, potentially with its own parliament, represents a significant shift in global geopolitics. The concept, as suggested by Russian President Vladimir Putin at the 10th Brics Parliamentary Forum in St. Petersburg, is rooted in the desire to create a more just, democratic, multipolar, and multilateral world order. This vision could lead to Brics functioning similarly to a unified nation, akin to a modern-day version of the USSR, but on a much larger scale. Brics is an economic bloc initially founded in 2009 by Brazil, Russia, India, and China, with South Africa joining in 2011. The group's name is derived from the first letters of each of its member countries. Over the years, Brics has evolved into a significant player in global economics and politics, representing over 40% of the world's population and around 25% of global GDP. The group's main goals include fostering economic cooperation, enhancing trade and investment, and advocating for reforms in global financial institutions to reflect the current economic realities. In December 2023, 6 more countries joined Brics, expanding its influence further. Despite this expansion, the group decided to retain its original name. The inclusion of these new members underscores the growing appeal of Brics as an alternative to traditional Western-dominated economic and political structures. At the Brics Parliamentary Forum, Putin proposed the idea of establishing a Brics parliament. He emphasized that regular meetings among lawmakers from Brics countries could pave the way for this institutional development. Putin's vision is rooted in the belief that such a parliament would facilitate deeper integration and cooperation among member states, addressing socioeconomic development issues and contributing to a more balanced global power structure. The establishment of a Brics parliament would mark a significant step towards greater political unity among member states. This development could potentially lead to Brics functioning as a single entity in certain areas, similar to the European Union. Such an entity would have considerable influence on global affairs, given the economic and demographic weight of its members. The idea of a Brics parliament and a more unified Brics bloc has far-reaching geopolitical implications. For one, it challenges the existing global order dominated by Western powers, particularly the United States and the European Union. Brics's emphasis on multipolarity and multilateralism directly opposes the unipolar world order that has been prevalent since the end of the Cold War. This shift towards a more multipolar world is seen as necessary by many Brics members, who argue that the current global order disproportionately favors the so-called Golden Billion states, a term Putin used to describe the wealthy nations of the West. The creation of a Brics parliament would symbolize a move towards a world order that better reflects the real balance of power, taking into account the economic and demographic realities of the 21st century. Economic and financial integration. One of the primary goals of Brics is to enhance economic cooperation among its members. This includes increasing the use of national currencies in trade and investment, developing secure and reliable financial instruments, and creating mutual settlement mechanisms. The establishment of a Brics parliament would likely accelerate these efforts, leading to greater economic integration. Such integration could have significant implications for the global economy. By reducing reliance on Western financial systems and the US dollar, Brics could create a parallel economic system that offers an alternative to the current global financial architecture. This would enhance the economic sovereignty of Brics members and reduce their vulnerability to external economic pressures and sanctions. Potential for expansion. The idea of Brics expanding to include more countries is not far-fetched. In fact, there are indications that many countries from Asia, Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean, Central America, the Pacific Islands, and the Middle East are interested in joining the bloc. If BRICS were to expand to include over 140 countries, it would represent a significant portion of the world's population and economic activity. Such an expansion would transform BRICS into a global powerhouse, potentially rivaling or even surpassing the influence of the British Empire at its peak. This would fundamentally alter the global balance of power, providing a counterweight to Western-dominated institutions and alliances like NATO and the EU. Challenges and criticisms. While the idea of a more unified BRICS is appealing to many, it is not without its challenges and criticisms. For one, the diversity of BRICS members presents significant hurdles to deeper integration. The member countries have different political systems, economic structures, and cultural backgrounds, which could complicate efforts to create a unified parliament and policy framework. Moreover, the notion of a BRICS parliament and greater unity is likely to be met with resistance from the West. Western countries, particularly those in Europe, may view the rise of BRICS as a threat to their global influence and economic interests. This could lead to increased geopolitical tensions and efforts to undermine BRICS's cohesion and initiatives. Conclusion. The proposal to establish a BRICS parliament and move towards a more unified bloc represents a bold vision for the future of global geopolitics. If realized, this vision could significantly alter the global balance of power, providing an alternative to the Western-dominated order and creating a more multipolar world. While there are significant challenges to achieving this vision, the potential benefits for BRICS members and the broader global community make it a development worth watching closely. In summary, the idea of a BRICS parliament and a more unified BRICS bloc is a transformative concept with far-reaching implications. It represents a challenge to the existing global order and a move towards a more balanced and equitable world. As BRICS continues to evolve and expand, its impact on global geopolitics will be significant, shaping the future of international